How's it going, guys? It's me, the Don't Talker, here today talking about the next episode of Haifuri, High School Fleets. Now, I kind of forgot that I had to do some other series for this channel, so I'll have to get back on those. But Haifuri, High School Fleet. So this episode was actually pretty awesome because, like, you know, last episodes had some pretty interesting stuff with like the whole Musashi, and then like some more drama and whatnot. But then this episode sort of is interesting in the fact that I get to know more about the setting and the whole like universe of this anime, because, you know, after the last episode how like the Musashi like fled, so now they're just like doing whatever, right? So then they had to sweep mines, and this one they continue off where they're just like continuing to sail, you know, wherever the heck, right? And there's on the track of the Musashi because they are the only ship that has fast enough to catch up to them and, like, you know, sort of fight them in combat and, you know, get away. And I just noticed that the Harukaze in translation is like, Haru is like spring and then Kaze is like wind, right? So it's like the spring wind or something like that. So that was pretty cool, and that makes sense for the ship because this ship that the Harukaze and the girls like are on, it's pretty small, not big in size, and like not a lot of like guns and firepower, right? So it's pretty mobile and fast. So that's why I was like, I know, like that's a cool name. So anyways, the Harukaze is like on its way chasing the Musashi, right? Where eventually they go into more situations where they're like, oh, we're out of supplies of water, and like, dang, they can't shower, they can't do a lot of things in the beginning because they don't have water. So that was pretty bad. But then eventually they get into a storm where they're trying to collect water and stuff like that and like take a shower outside, which is pretty funny. But then we learned a lot of interesting things in this episode, mostly about our captain Aokana. That's her name, right? Aokana. I kept saying something else like that. But yeah, our captain apparently has this whole, we have this whole backstory thing with our captain and how she apparently was on this ship, right? And then eventually, like in a thunderstorm, it sort of crashed the ship, and then it was like being split in half, or like I forget the word that happens when it's like marooned, or like, you know, it's like hit like land or something like that, right? And basically, like on that ship, right, she had to jump into water and evacuate and leave her parents behind, causing her parents to supposedly die in that ship. And I was like, dang, that sounds like, because she was a kid, right? Eventually, like Blue Mermaid saved her and all the people that evacuated on this cruise ship thing going on, right? So then, ever since that day, she wanted to join the Blue Mermaids, and she was afraid of lightning and thunder because it reminds her of the day that she was on that boat and how her parents died. It's really tragic, and it's just like, dang. Like that's one of the things, like, we don't know about our parents, and it's like, you know, now we do know. And that's pretty sad. But, you know, it's sort of like a motivation for her to join the Blue Mermaids because, like, you know, she was saved by them as a kid and she inspired to join them, and, you know, eventually, and then that pays off because in this episode they get a message, a distress message that like a shopping ship like also crashed too for some reason. Like they hit something and then like everyone was evacuating, and they're the closest ones. They had to go and rescue them. They had to do like a legit mission. And I was like, whoa, this is actually intense. Instead of like finding other students, now we're actually saving lives and rescuing people. So they had to do like all this like freaking rescue operation and stuff like that. They go to the ship, like feed people and like bring them back to their ship and whatnot. I was like, dang, this is like some legit stuff going on. And like, you know, they're only in high school. Technically they're in school, even though they have this whole ship and whatnot. And yeah, they're doing all this, and then like they're risking their lives for all these people to save them. Like, this is what they train for. And, you know, it surprises me, like, once again, like, these are girls in the high school only, and, you know, because of that there is a limit to what they can do. And we see that when the co-captain goes into the ship to like save a cat and like get like the last, everyone else got away, right, except for the captain and this cat that she went in to rescue. And eventually, like, the ship was splitting in half, so they're like, there's no way that all the rest of the girls could actually go in and help her out. And that's when the real Blue Mermaids come up in their freaking like ship, and like girls on like ski boats and whatnot. And now these girls are the, like, I didn't notice that fact, but like, it reminded me that these girls are once again only high school students, and there's like a legit Blue Mermaid group out there that does these things and helps out people. So then they're going out, and then they professionally find her and save the co-captain Shiro, and then yeah, they save her and they get the cat, and then that's the happy ending. It's like, dang, this is really good. And, you know, like, it's really cool, this series, because of how they have this group and they're so dedicated on the sea, and they have freaking like so much like people living out in the sea and like these things. And you know, these girls and girls on the Harukaze, you know, they're training to do these things to save lives and protect people out in the sea. It's really cool. And then when the real Blue Mermaids came in, and then they were just like, okay, where's your friend at? And like they're just like trying to break the shit, like, okay, like respond, like, do you hear this noise, right? It's like they do. It's so cool. I really like it, and this episode really showed a lot more to the universe and its characters and whatnot. It's sort of like sidestepped away from the Musashi little thing, but I think that we're gonna come back to that eventually. And also the doc also performed her test and gave her results and the rat to the Blue Mermaids, who are going to go analyze it and whatnot. So it's really actually kind of progressing in a sense, with some interesting side story on the way, because these people need help and they went out to rescue them. So I mean, that was a really cool episode, and I gotta give it to Shiro, who like freaking was stuck in the ship, and then she had to crawl through the vent just to like get out, and then she was just stuck in there. Like that must have been like a really tough situation for her, and like, you know, to be in that, like, you know, it is your duty to save, you signed up to do these things to save people and go out to sea and whatnot, and like, you know, doing it on the field work when they're like actually doing it to save lives and whatnot, it was really stressful. And like they were just like, oh shoot, what do we do? Like we actually have to do this. We had all this training and practice, but now we're actually doing this field work in real life because these people need to be saved, and they did save lives, which is really cool. So anyways guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video on the High School Fleet, because it's pretty good. So like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe, because next week we'll see what other shenanigans these girls do in their Blue Mermaid adventures and their travels out to sea and whatnot. And that's about it, guys. So if you have any questions, comments, leave them in the comment section below, or tell me at my Twitter at @Don'tTaku, because, you know, like, would you guys want to do that? Like, I know, like, you know, this is technically like a police sort of thing, but you know, you want to like have a job that saves lives and helps out people. That'd be pretty cool. And like, would you guys want this sort of job that these girls do? So anyways guys, I'll see you guys on the next video on the Don'tTaku anime channel. So take care guys, matane, and set sail for the next episode.